Galaw-gaw, kay harot-harot tingnan, maliksi, di mapigil ang gaslaw. Galaw-gaw, ang lahat ginagalaw, napakaharot at pakialam. Galaw-gaw, kung tawagin siya'y ganyan.
Sir Manny Lopez, Sir Manny, bilang isang eksperto, kailangan pa ba natin ng congressman sa mga senador? Kasi ang problema natin, sila yung gumagawa ng batas, puro batas, pero yung mga batas na sinasabi natin na ginawa nila, hindi naman na ipapatupad. Sa tingin nila po. Thank you.
Good morning. Pasensya na po kayo. As usual, my excuse is the traffic, which is getting worse and worse. Dati, it takes me only about 2.5 hours to get here from Tagaytay. Ngayon po, 3.5 hours plus na. So, it's getting worse, and palagay ko ang problema talaga yung din mga drivers other than the limitations in our infrastructure. Now, answering Sis Juby, if you may recall, just a few years ago or until recently, we were already proposing direct democracy, no? By improving, enhancing the applicability of RA 6735, which is the People's Initiative and Referendum Act. Pinupush po natin ito because we have seen the failure in Congress on too many occasions. Now, it has come to worse, no? The worst situation where our achievements in the past, yung pinaghirapan po namin ng 3 taon to make sure, you know, that all these plunderers in Congress are in jail, and to pressure the Supreme Court to declare the DAP and PDAP pork barrel system as illegal, parang binabaliwala ng certain groups inside the Duterte administration. Now, we know for a fact that these groups, they are there as a matter of convenience. They were never there from the very beginning, you know, to support the change and reform agenda of the Duterte administration. These are the people that who are experts, no, in weaving themselves in the fabric, in the institutions of power. Eksperto po ito mga ito. Smooth operators po ito mga ito. You know, they can change their color from black to white, you know, in a flick of a finger. And they are very skillful. Now, tama po, I will echo the observations of Bishop T.I.N.D.I.G that they have actually captured, you know, the evaluation process of installing, selecting, you know, the officialdom, the new officials in this administration. Meron po marami po tayong kaibigan na nandyan ngayon. Maraming magagaling, maraming mga titino. Pero pag tanungin niyo po sila, you know, in the deep recesses of their hearts and minds, no, sasabihin po nila sa inyo na na-overpowered na sila sa loob. Na-isolate sila. I can name a number of them. And I can even ask them to come here to, you know, express their frustrations. You know, until recently, nung nabanggit ni Ka Eric na magkakaroon ng malaking developments, you know, I thought this was but another, you know, conspiracy theory. But when I learned from friends from New York, no, na itong global drug group that is, you know, operating within the cover of one of the greatest institutions of mankind, supposedly to promote mankind's interests and welfare, the United Nations. They are here to promote, you know, the legalization of entertainment and party drugs. And if you recall, you know, not too long ago, how China got embroiled in this issue of mass addiction of entire generations. It was not until, you know, a new set of leaders came up to save the country and reform the country to what it is today. So, nandyan po ang mga kalaban ng ating sambayanan. We will uncover them. Our friend, you know, Dr. Eric San Juan encouraged me to come here again, you know, to expose, because dito hindi nila makokontrol kung anong sasabihin natin. We could be extremist, but we could also be reasonable, no? And I believe it is our duty and responsibility to uncover the plots of these people. They are, endangering this country. They are endangering our future as a nation. It is about time that we really go again, on high gear to oppose these machinations, these schemes of these evildoers. Hindi po natin bababayaan ito. Yun pong mga naglalakad ngayon para gawing state witness si Janet Lim Napoles. Hanggang sa huling hininga po, hanggang sa huling piso ko, ipupusta ko to make sure that this does not happen. We cannot compromise with plunder. We cannot compromise with high crimes against the interests of our nation. May idadagdag lang po ako regarding the new balancing act that supposedly being strategized by the Duterte administration. Yun pong, alam niyo naman po, nagkaroon tayo ng 175 billion pesos na AFP Modernization Fund. And the darklets of the commissions coming from this, from these transactions, yan po ang inaasahan ng opposition, to eventually effect regime change. Malaki pong pera yan, at 10%, but I understand the going rate then was about 30% of the transactions. So you can imagine that kind of money floating around within the military, defense establishment. So nakita ko po parang at first I was adamant, why two generals were appointed to key positions. While it may not look appealing, perhaps with their intel, it is a necessary measure to counter or neutralize the influence of the old military clique, with this new group, in order to protect and defend the Duterte administration. However, my thinking really is, the bottom line really is, if the president will sustain his pro-people stand, his nationalist pro-people stand, it will be us, the Filipino people, who will protect and defend him to our last blood and last breath. Yan po ang nakikita kong bottom line. It is not these paper contraptions. It's not even my party, the PDP Laban, that installed, Duterte, Mayor Duterte in the presidency. It is the unorganized groups. Wala pong perang PDP Laban. Papel lang po si FBR, mga endorsement niya, his funny ways. It probably, they probably had a role. Even GMA, probably had a role. Pero hindi po yan ang reckoning point ng victory ng ni Mayor Digong to the presidency. It is the unorganized groups. Mga grupo nila Carnilo, grupo nila Caleon. Tayo dito na unang-unang nag-endorse kay President Duterte. Yan po ang mga tahimik, the meek, but they are the power really. Ang mandate ng mga nakaupo ngayon ay nanggagaling po sa atin, sa mga unorganized groups. Kaya dapat lang po na managot sila sa mga ginagawa nila ngayon, at yung mga nag-ibang kulay na at sumama na sa Duterte administration for convenience and to protect the residual interest, we will have to uncover them, we will have to expose them, and we will have to oppose them and stop them.
Actually, yung tatanong ko nga, Dr. Eric, yung ni-raise ninyo, pero specifically, isa-cite ko na. Yung pag nabanggit ni Kamani na siya'y bahagan ng PDP Laban.
Will support the president, but at the same time, this is not a reliable force that he could rely on. Because this is a reliance established based on convenience. So, dati ang PDP Laban was one of the purest, political organizations during the time of Nene Pimentel. As a matter of fact, nagkaroon ng schism yan, yung grupo nila Monching Mitra at nila Kong Pipin, nagkahiwalay yan, So, ako, while I am from Tarlac, I kind of joined the progressive bloc of PDP Laban, that is with Nene Pimentel, with proper, paalam kila Kong Pipin na ito ang aking desisyon. But of course, pag ganun ka, mawawala ka sa listahan ng mga paborito. Pero okay lang.
Thank you, Dr. Eric San Juan, for this privilege of sharing some of my thoughts. Yung frustration ko po ay naging hope na naman, converted into hope because I was able to share some of my sentiments, no? Not for myself but for our country and for all the advocacies that we have pursued now and in the past. Now, i-emphasize ko lang po yung Global Drug Group. No? Napaka-potent po ito. Because even in America, they were able to push the Obamacare. Obamacare recently has been opposed cross-party-wise and multi-sector-wise. Why? Because it is turning Americans into drug dependents. Ang gusto pong gawin nitong Global Drug Group na ito ay illegalize ang entertainment and party drugs here in the Philippines in collaboration with a defeated presidential candidate. As you very well know, just recently, nagkaroon ng UN visit ang isang supposedly a UN rapporteur who was uninvited and welcome, but she pushed for, the objective, the real motive of this group, that is the legalization of entertainment and party drugs. Can you imagine what will that turn our youth, our people into a bunch of drug addicts, into a bunch of, drug dependents? Ganyan po ang intensyon nila, parang ibabalik yung British mercantilist strategy na ginawa nila sa China noon. Now, we will have to oppose that with everything that we've got. Kailangan pong i-oppose yan. Napaka-potent po ito. At sa Amerika po, natalo na itong mga big pharma interests na ito. They have been penalized in the billions. Ang GlaxoSmith by over 3 billion, ang Merck almost 2 billion. Lahat po yan. There are about 6 or 7 of them being penalized in the billions. Kasi po doon po, torts eh. The justice system operates. Kaya pera-pera ang nagiging usapan sa penalties. Tayo po, broken yung system na yan. We know that. Kaya hindi tayo pwedeng umasa sa ating judicial system para i-correct ang anomalies na ginagawa nitong big pharma interest dito sa bahay natin. So it is all up to us.
Ako po si Mami Robles, ang mami at babaeng lagalag. At ito ang aking balita, news, para sa kaalaman ng buong Pilipinas, buong mundo, North, East, West, South. Hanggang sa muli!
At pakialam, galaw-gaw, kung tawagin siya'y ganyan, kang karot.